Hey, welcome back. I want to do something a little bit different. We're pretty much used to one-page websites where, you have like menu anchors and you click on a menu and it scrolls down to that item. That's pretty simple, okay? Menu anchors. We've got quite a few videos on that. Go have a look. Dead simple to do. But what if you want to create a one-page website which literally is just one page without any scrolling? So on a desktop, it just fits the page and that's it. So even when you move around the pages, well, you're not gonna because it's all gonna be on one page, but even when you click the menu items, it doesn't scroll down. It all is in one page. Now, obviously, when you do this on a mobile screen, it's gonna look a little bit odd. So whatever we do for the desktop, you got to say, well, we have to have a compromise. And when you look at it on a mobile, if you've got more than one column per page or however you set it up, there will be a little bit of scroll. You got to kind of accept that. But for the desktop or the laptop, can we design a one page, no scroll website? So even when you do click on the menu, it actually changes the content of the page, but it is still one page. And we can do that. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, but let's have a go at doing it. Hey, I'm Imran, Web Squadron. I hope you please like, come on, it's not going to cost you anything. Subscribe and make sure you follow us to stay in touch with all the great things we're doing with Elementor WordPress to help you, your clients, and your business. Now, I'm not going to go through optimization plugins. I'm not going to go through page speed insights. I'm not going to go through image compression, PNG, tiny PNG to JPEG to WebP and all of that. I've got lots of videos on that, so I'm assuming you've done all of that. Make sure you have. If you haven't, go and check out my other videos on optimization. They're dead important. But let's say you've done all that. You've collected your images, you've designed your logo, all of these things, and you've now got them into WordPress. Right, so we've got a page set up here. This page is going to be hide title, obviously. It's just called one page for now. You're probably going to call it home. I would probably say do call it home. And page layout, I'm just going for Elementor Canvas. If you want to use like default, because you're going to have you're going to create a header and a footer, fine, go away and do that. But the reason I'm not doing that is I'm assuming that there's some of you out there do not have Elementor Pro, you've got Elementor Free. So because it's going to be one page, we don't need to create a template. Does this make sense? We're just going to create a header and a footer and stick it on the page. Stay with me on this. Right. First thing we're going to do is create our header. Not as a template, but actually on the page. We're going to go over here and we are going to say we're going to have one section. This section, okay, I'm going to click over here, is going to be a boxed. Now, the reason why we could do full width, if we want, I mean, we might as well because it is fitting the entire width, but we could do box as well. I sometimes tend to go with box width 1200, just because I have found with different desktops and different laptops, that tends to work with me. 1300 is kind of okay as well. You could go full width. I'm just going for boxed. I'm going to have no gap. So everything is tight against the border, but we will add in some padding. And now for the height, I'm going to say fit to screen. So this currently now is a fit to screen height. Okay, so as I add in content, it's going to start eating into the space we have here at the moment, but I have to watch out for that to make sure it doesn't get too big to the point where we are now going to have some scroll. So first thing we're going to do over here also is we're going to put this as a top. So we want everything to start from the top because we are now going to create a header, correct? And vertical align, we're just going to put it as middle for now. Overflow, we're going to leave that as default. We're not stretching the section, and the structure, well, it's just one column at the moment. Okay, they're dead simple. Nothing fantastic here, right? Okay, just remember, what did I do? I said fit to screen. We're now going to add in our logo. So let's add in a logo. Logo, login, logo. I want an image. There we go. Why did I even type logo? Just type image. Urgh, brain freeze. It's very late. It's very dark. There's spiders all around me. We're now going to pick our logo. So there we have our logo. Now, I've already set up the global colors for this, okay? You're going to have to forgive me because this website I use for a lot of testing purposes. And if you scroll down, here's two of my main colors. There's this dark color, which is 20-20-20, which is the same as the background color here. The writing is white. And then we have a bit of this like pinky red color, which is over here as well. So I've got those added into my global colors. What I'm now going to do is to the entire page, okay, for the style, I'm going to set the background to be that color there. right? So that color is now default background and it nicely blends in with the logo. Okay, I'm going to go over to my logo and I'm now going to change this to be a full. People often say, why do you do full if you're going to make it smaller? It's because you want the full resolution. You go for any other size and you might get slight blurry or it loses its sharpness. Go for full. We're going to go for style. No, we're going to put it back. We're going to put it on the left. We're going to go for style and I'm going to go for a pixel size of about 250. Yeah, 250. Let's go for 300. There we go. We'll go for a 300. Yeah, 300 will do. So I'm now going to add in some content to the right of this. I'm going to add in some social sharing icons and there might be some other information because this is a pretend architecture website. Architects we're calling it instead of architect, okay? And we might put in some like social sharing icons. There might be phone numbers, email addresses and things like that. This is all fake, by the way. So I'm not going to fill in every detail scientifically. I'm just going to put in a few stuff to help you out understand what we're doing. So I am going to pick social icons. I'm just going to pick these ones over here. I'm just going to really quickly just set this to be 3 columns. I'm going to say it's a circular and I'm going to set the style to be a custom color. And I'm going to say the primary color is the dark black, charcoaly black color. And the secondary color is going to be white. And when you hover over it, which is icon hover, again, it will still be the dark charcoaly color, but now the secondary color will be the salmon. So you get that effect going on there. Now, at the moment, that's gone to the bottom. Don't worry, we're going to sort that out in a moment, okay? What we're also going to add in is a icon list. So let me just get the icon list over here, and we're going to drop that in as well. We're going to make it a line. You probably can't see it, so let me just change the styling. We're going to make the text be a white color. Again, I'm not going to mess around too much with what happens when you hover over it. I mean, if you hover over it, it's going to go that salmony color. I will keep the icons in. The icons will be a white color again. Again, I'm not going to go too much into detail with all of these items or what they do. Content is you can add them, you can delete them. You know, look, I'll just copy this one in again. You can click over here and change the icon. You could say put a telephone icon, have a telephone number. You could put an envelope and have the email address. You could put in like a picture of a house or something, or even like a Google map icon, and then have an address, opening times, whatever you want, okay? What I'm just showing you is that I'm just making it into a horizontal line. Right, at the moment, they're all going one underneath one another because that's how Elementor works. When you add in a widget, it goes underneath. But if we go over to the logo, okay, which sits right at the top, we go to the Advanced tab, we then go to Positioning. I'm going to pick Custom, right? I'm going to go over to the social sharing icons. I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm going to go to Positioning, and I'm going to say Width is Custom. And I'm going to go to the icon list, and guess what we're doing? Advanced, Positioning, Width will be Custom. Yep, there we go, right? Now, if I now click on this column over here at the top, at the moment our horizontal line is kind of at the start. If I set this now to be space between, it's now going to space out. Or I could go for space around, or I could go for space evenly. I'm going to go for space between, so it puts the icon list right at the right hand side and the logo right at the left. And the social sharing icons are now in the middle. This might not work for you completely, this layout at the moment in terms of how it's operating. So I could go over to my list icon, go back to Advanced, go back to Positioning, go back to Custom, okay, and I could go to say the custom width because this is currently 1200 boxed width. Remember, look, let me show you what happens when I do this. It is currently set to be like that. So there is already some padding on the left and right hand side. If you'd gone for full width, it would go all the way. I'm happy with the 1200 for now, okay? So if I was to measure the size, I might decide that, I haven't measured it by the way, I'm doing this all on the fly. But I'm going to say that that is 400 pixels. And if I start to shrink it, I can start to see exactly what the size is. So we can go with 370 there, okay? I'm now just going to click back over here to my icon list and make sure the style of it is right aligned. So it's all the way to the right. So that is currently 370. I'm now going to go over to my social sharing icons advanced, positioning, custom. And I'm now going to say that the width of this is, well, let's go for 200. I'm just going to mess this around and see, well, what sizes. I think there we go. So about 170 as well. 370 plus 170 equals 540. 1200 minus 540 is 660. So if I go over to my logo now, advanced, positioning, custom, I'm going to say the width of that is 660. I actually put 6,000 in. There you go, 660. Now at the moment it's dropped onto another line, but that's because it's just the size of my MacBook Air laptop, and the screen is currently doing that. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. However, if it is bothering you when you're designing this because it's overlapping onto another page, I might as well just do this then. Just shrink it down to be, say, 582. And just have a look and see how does that look. And at the moment, that's looking okay, all right? So we now have the social sharing icons more over to that side over there, and we have the logo on the left. Okay, that is fine, all right? So if we now just click update, so far, so good. We have one column. Within the first column, we have 3 items, but they are now custom positioned to be next door to each other. Sometimes this is better than doing inline, okay? Because don't ask me why, but it's better for your performance and the way you do your layout because you're controlling the layout. Normally, you might have added in 3 columns and stuck these in and then moved them around. Custom positioning can be your friend. Right, now we're going to do our internal layout because we've just said we're going to create a one-page website, correct? Well, let's just very quickly add in a footer as well. So I'm going to add in a text and I'm just going to drop it in. Now, here's one slight problem though. If I now drop it in, for instance, like, let me just drop it in here, right? It's now going to go underneath the logo. So if I go over to my navigator, which is here, I'm going to pick my text and I'm just going to drop it below like that, okay? So you have your image, your social icons, and your icon list. They are like custom positioned. Your text editor goes all the way to the bottom and it now contains the full width of that column, okay? So don't worry about that. Before we move on, we need to just kind of give a little bit of padding at the moment. So if I go to my section, I'm going to go to advanced. The margin is 0, the padding is 0. At the top, I'm going to give it about 10 pixels breathing space. I think it deserves it. In fact, I might even go with 5. There we go. I'm just going to go with 5 and just check how that looks. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So if you want to add a bit of padding in, go for it. Okay. Right. Now we go to our text editor at the moment. This text is going to become the footer of our page. Okay. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to type footer content. Okay. And I'm just going to put a pipe and put footer, privacy, copyright, and anything else, right? Okay, so this literally will be like anything else you decide to put in. All right, I know this is rubbish what I've done, by the way. I'm just going to center this, and I'm going to give this a style, a color of white, and okay. Look, for now, I'm just going to pick. Do we have Orbitron on here? No, we don't have Orbitron. Oh no, we do have Orbitron. Cool. There we go. We're going to go for Orbitron. Okay. So let's just pretend I stick in a particular style or whatever like that. Okay. Weighting, we'll go with 300. Again, I shouldn't focus too much on this because I don't want to lose track of what I'm doing here. Let's just go to advanced. I'm going to give it a bit of padding, just a bit of breathing space. Okay. So from the top, I'm going to say 10. And in fact, we'll go 20. And from the bottom, we'll just say about 10 from the bottom. And the left and right, I'm not going to worry too much about it. So imagine this was our footer. It might be, it can be whatever you want and however you want to set it up, all right? I don't want to focus too much on that. Just get that clear. Now, at the moment, that is stuck to the top. If, however, okay, you go to advanced, you now go to positioning, right? We're not touching the width, okay? We're touching the position, right? So positioning, the position within positioning. We're going to say fixed. And it's already put it to the bottom. So if I leave it there, it goes to the top and it's always going to be at the top. If I do that, it is now always going to be at the bottom of the page. I'm not going to mess around with the offset. I'm not going to start doing any of this, right? So just leave that as 0 at the bottom, and I'm not going to mess around with the horizontal kind of either, all right? Leave that as a 0 as well, okay? So if I now, what you will notice though is that if you scroll up and down, because it's at the bottom, it kind of disappears because it's over here. And you might go, well, that's not doing what I want. Don't be fooled, because when you now view this as a page, right, you're not scrolling anywhere and it is stuck to the bottom. So it's kind of a trick way of how I do it. And there's going to be other ways you do it. And there's someone who's bound to comment and say, you could have just done duh. Well, yeah, fine. Please tell me. But this is how I like to do it. So I just like to add in the text editor and then just make the position be affixed. And it is bottom. It's rooted to the bottom. It's like having a fixed bottom, but we're in the same section. And I haven't used an inner section yet either. Have I? No, I haven't. So this is super, super cool so far. Okay, now let's go about putting in our content. We did say one page, no scroll website, didn't we? So we haven't built it yet. Come on, dude, let's get on with it. What will I use? Now, there's many ways you could do this, and I'm not going to add in a menu. What I'm going to do is add in and I'm wondering if you were already on this, my wavelength with this. I'm going to drop it in there, tabs, and I'm now going to move it to sit under the icon list like that. Can you see what we've got there? We've now got this like tab effect. Can you see where I'm going with this? You're probably going, nope, don't understand this at all. Tab 1, we're going to call home. Okay, we're just going to call it home. Tab 2, about. No, we won't call it. We'll call it services, right? I'm just going to get rid of what sits inside each tab, so it's quicker for me to do. I'm now just going to make a copy of those tabs. I'll do 5 if say, and we'll then do about, and we'll have another tab called, we'll call it portfolio, and we'll have another tab called contact. Okay, I am not actually going to do every single tab here because I just want to show you what we're doing, and you can use your imagination to fill in the gaps here. We currently have 5 tabs. I'm going to set the alignment to be to the right. Okay, and you can see that there. The alignment's gone to the right. Okay, positioning, we could have vertical, so we could even have a menu going down the side, which isn't a completely bad idea really, because this is a one-page site. But I'm just going to go with horizontal because a lot of people are used to seeing it like that. And especially when you've got your icon and your social icons over on that side, your menu sitting there is quite nice as well. Otherwise, you're going to start flicking between where does your mouse go. Right, let's just go to style. The border width, there will be no border. Ta-da! The titles we will make white. And of course, when it's an active color, we'll also have white as well. You're going to mess around with your typography. I'm just going to say Orbitron. And we'll go for we'll just go for 300. There you go, something like that. Look, again, I'm not messing around too much with the layout here, with the spacing and all of that, and uppercase, lowercase. This is just me. I mean, look, I haven't even done it here. And really, if I'm going to go with Orbitron, you want to make sure you do Orbitron over here as well. In fact, what I will say is that when you currently look at it, it's not completely in line. So we might have to move this a little bit over to that side, but we can do that with a bit of padding and spacing and stuff like that. So the border width at the moment is completely 0. The content, I'm not too worried about the content, okay? Because we're going to create the content using templates. But we just want to very quickly make sure that we've got all this done. The content, we're just going to make sure that there's no padding or anything within. Okay, I'm happy with that at the moment. I did say, though, the button is a little bit too far to the left. So we might want to go over here and just kind of reduce the, not that one, sorry, the right-hand side to kind of get it in line. So if I go with -20, when you're viewing this as a page and you click home, it's not actually going to take you or do anything, really, is it? And by the way, if you're wondering what that purple icon is, that's because I installed the Bertha AI for content writing to test it out. So please don't go, huh? What is this thing here? But look, if I click it, it starts to do stuff like this. But don't worry about that at the moment, okay? Right. So, home currently has nothing in it at all. We could go into home and we could start adding in our content, right? We could go like that, add in content. We could add in some media as well. Here we go. Let's add in this picture here. Okay, there we go. We're going to get a picture and we can resize it. But the trouble is that when you're doing it with a text editor, you start to lose a bit of control, and it can start to make the page quite massive as well. So let me just get rid of what we have here, and let's get rid of that text as well. Okay, right, so we're going to create a template. Let's click update. By the way, I do understand that I have not yet gone into mobile mode. That's because when you get into mobile mode, you're going to have to redo things, you know, resize your logo, resize your social sharing icons in terms of your positioning, you know, what was the percentage or however you did it. The same with your list icons, your footer, you know, all of these things you're going to have to just slightly mess around with to get it to look the way you want. But the mobile view, that's another story. But the one page, you're going to compromise for that. Right, let's now get back onto what we're doing, which is the template. What you're going to do now is you're going to go over to templates, okay? And we are going to create a new template. And this template is just going to be a section, okay? And you can do this in Elementor Free as well. We're going to call this home section, okay? And I'm going to click create template. Now we know that the section we're creating within is 1,200 in width, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a, let's just get rid of, oh yeah, ignore this header and ignore this footer, okay? So it's bringing it through from some other settings, but ignore all of that, okay? Right. Right. So we're going to create a section, and it's going to be a 2-column section. We're going to go over to the setting, and we're going to call it boxed, and we're actually going to make it be 1190. I'm just dropping a little bit off, 5 from the left and 5 from the right, okay? So 1190, and we'll have to test it out and check it's okay. The column width, no gap. The height, I'm going to say the minimum height, and I'm going to say nothing. Don't set it to fit to page, because you don't want a fit to page section within a fit to page, because it's going to be bleh, all over the place, okay? So don't do that, right? What we're now going to do is add in a image on the right hand side. So I'm going to take image, okay, like so. In fact, before we do that, what we really should do is go to the section, go to the style. I'm going to set the background of this to be that dark color, like so. The image that we've added into here currently fits the full area. So I'm just going to go into this image, and I'm going to pick a Canva created image. And I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. We've got a 600 by 600 image. Okay, so this is going to be the person, the portfolio. It might be a CV website that we're trying to showcase off here. So we have an image added in here. We're now just going to modify the size of this image. We're going to put it center. And I'm now just going to go over to pixel, and I'm going to say it's going to be 400 pixels. Okay, and we'll make the size over here 400 pixels as well. Great, so far so good. I'm going to click on the column, and I'm now going to give it a bit of padding, because at the moment it's very tight to the top and bottom. I'm going to give it about 100 from the, no, not 100, 50 from the top, and we'll go with 50 from the bottom as well, just so we get it nicely. It's nicely cornered and everything like that. We could now give this image a bit of a border as well while we're here. So we could go to border and type in like 1,000 or something like that, so we get a nice rounded effect like that. And the rounded effect actually isn't too bad. However, it slightly takes away the fact that I've got this table. So what I'm instead going to do is just do 25 on the radius, and I'm actually going to give it a slight shadow, which you can just about see. You can see that little shadow effect just over there. Okay, when you have dark, you're not going to notice as much, but it is slightly subtle that it's just coming forward. Right, this section, okay, we're going to go back to the layout, and we're going to make this be a top. In fact, no, we will not do top. We'll leave it as middle at the moment, okay? No, we will. Yeah, we'll leave it as middle. I'm now going to add in a header. I'm just going to create this header to say architect. No, we won't call it that. We'll call it Natalie Sawyer. It's one of the names I keep using whenever I create a website at the minute, a test one. Natalie Sawyer. We're going to, again, I'm not messing around with the typography here, okay? I'm just trying to show you how this works. We'll go for white. I said I'm not messing around with it. What I meant was I'm not going to like go through every single setting. We've got the name. We'll give it about 500. No, we'll give it about 400. 400's better, yeah. And yeah. I mean, what I would say though is when you're doing text in Elementor and you're worried about responsiveness and all of that, Don't use pixels, use EM or REM. If I go for EM and I go for 3, right, it gives it quite big, and I'm now going to drop it down to about 2.5, okay? I'm now going to make a copy of this below. I'm going to change this now to be a different typography, and I'm going to go for, I think it was Railway. There you go, Railway, which works quite well with Orbitron. Go onto Google Fonts, pick your font, and then it will tell you what is a good secondary font to use with it. They nicely partner up. Okay, and I'm just going to drop this down to be about 2 there, and we're just going to change the content to say Architect Specialist. Okay, in fact, we'll put award-winning Architect Specialist International. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, okay. And then what we're also now going to do is put in a bit of text. So we'll drop a bit of text box over down here. Again, I'm just going to leave it as lorem ipsum, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to make it a white color. We're going to have it left aligned. And the typography, let's just go for railway. There it is. And we're going to go for EM. And I'm going to make this about 1.5. 1.5 is a bit too big, actually. Let's just drop it down to be about 1.3. Roughly, something like that, okay? So you're going to play around and mess around with your style and how you want it to look, okay? And you might, you know, again, look, you might put a bit of extra spacing in. So from header 1 to header 2, we might have about 20 pixels, maybe even 30. I don't know, something like that, okay? Now, this is keeping it really, really simple. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that is the content, okay, that I am going to be showing within tab 1. Now at the moment, when you look at that, okay, column 1, where's column 1? There you go. Column 1 at the moment is only 44%, and the image is 56%. I don't like that. I want the image to be more over to the right hand side. Okay, so I'm going to make this be 60. I'm going to make this obviously be 40, which it has done. So if we now view this now, that's looking a little bit better. Obviously, you can add in more stuff. You know, please don't be limited to what I'm showing. You know, you are gonna, I hope, you're probably gonna put in a button maybe, which might, you know, it might do something else. It might even open a pop-up. So if you're having a one-page no-scroll website and you're now keeping all of your content within tabs and templates, you could click that button, which will now open a pop-up. So have a think about what you're trying to do here. I'm just gonna leave this as left-hand side, and we'll just make the button background be that red color there for now. Okay, whatever you want to do. Okay, you think about what works for you and what you're trying to portray or what you're trying to get across. But we need to just check this is working. So let's hit update. Okay, I hope you're staying with me on this. Let's go back into our templates. Templates, here we go to our templates. So home section, we're going to pick up the shortcode. You copy the shortcode. Right, we go back to our pages. This is my testing website, which is why it's got lots of gunk and junk. Okay, right. So if we now go over to our tab, if we go to the home tab, down here, I just drop in the template. And at the moment, you're not going to see anything. It just doesn't work like that. And what you've now got to do is preview. Because even if you do this, it's not going to bring it up. And you go, oh, it's broken. Remember, though, when you create the template, you do it in desktop, then check tablet, then check mobile, go through the motions and do all of that there and then. Because if you get your padding and everything right there and then, every other template will just eventually be a copy of that. And you're just going to modify the content, okay? So make sure you do that. I haven't. But check your padding, look at it in mobile mode. Your text will be at the top and your image will go at the bottom. If you've got a particular sized image for your desktop, you might have a copy of that image because on the mobile you can pick another image, right? You do know this, okay? So, and I'll go back in and double check and let you see that. So if we now go preview changes, look at that. We have a one-page website. Yes, there's a little bit of scroll there. Look, it's because we've got this bar here as well, but that is a one-page website. Right, with like technically no scroll. You got home. What happens when I click services? Ta-da, nothing. Of course there's nothing because that's your one page at the moment. Let's just close that down. Let's just go back into our template again. I know people are going to say you could have just done it using the bottom icons, but hey, I like to roll in a completely different way. Let's just edit that. Okay. Right, so what I would meant by changing your images, we've got our image and all of that. If you go to responsive mode and you go to mobile now, okay, you do your padding, you do your layout, you do everything right, you know, left and right, give it about 15 pixels padding on the left and right for definite. Make sure you've set your width over here to 378. You know, adjust everything accordingly. You know, and I might just quickly do it here in case someone says, oh, you could have shown us. So I might just say, okay, we'll have about 20 on the top, 15 here, 15 on that side, and we'll go for about 20 there as well on the bottom. So you're going to change your sizing. You might change your text here to the typography. We might now say over here, we'll go with 3. No, sorry, EM3. And then we're just going to drop it down until we get it on one line. So we might go for 2.3 or 2.4, whatever you want to do. You affect it. Now this image here, when you click this image, it just pulls through the same image you had on your desktop. But you did know that you can click this and pick another image. So you might have another copy of that image where in fact, you've actually got it at a slightly smaller size. I mean, 600 by 600 is quite okay here, but you might have a 400 by 400. And you can basically add that in here. You can replace it for the mobile to help your page speed insights, your score for the mobile. Okay, do not overlook this stuff. It is dead important if you care about performance. Right, so we could add more content, but that's not what I'm here for. Well, that is what I'm here for, but it's not what I'm here for. What I've come now is I'm going to just copy this section. I'm now going to go over to templates. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it section, and I'm going to call this services section. I think you can see what I'm doing here, right? So once you've done your padding and sorted it all out, you just copy it, dump it in exactly how it is. Get rid of what you don't want. Like you might go, oh, I don't want this image. Go away, go away. And then you might decide, okay, are you still going to have 2 columns? Maybe you'll have a 3rd column. So let's just add in a 3rd column like so. Let's get rid of this header over here. Let's maybe get, you know, I don't know. Let's pretend we change the text now to be services that we offer. Services that we offer. Services that I offer. Services that Natalie offers. Services that I offer. It's up to you how you want to word it. Okay. You're going to put your text in. You might have a button or not. You might have a duplicate of some further text. Again, look, you're going to decide on how you want to present it and what you're doing. Okay, right, let's just get rid of that. So I've now put everything at the top. Okay, so we might then decide, okay, we are now going to put in, you might put in some more images. You might put in an icon box, for instance. You know, you might put some stuff in. Let's just do that there. Let's just duplicate that. Drop that into there as well. Okay, you're going to start to describe your content. Okay, I'm just going to copy that and apply the style there as well. Because if you remember, this had some padding in, 50 at the top and 50 at the bottom. So start to think about your layout. How are you presenting it? Are you going to have some padding over here as well, so that, you know, it's not always directly at the top, so 50 and 50 there as well. Start thinking about your layout. What are you showing here? Let's just duplicate that. Let's just duplicate that. You might be showing your services. I think you get the idea for what I'm saying here. You do your colors, your padding, and everything like that. Okay, if we now go back to our, let's just update that because that was the home section. Let's just go over here. In fact, what I'm going to do is, before I do that, is I'm going to just copy that, go back. I'm only going to do this now for one more section because I think you're getting the idea for what we were achieving and what we were doing here. If we go to templates and save templates again, let's just add in another new one, and this time we'll do one and we'll call it well, it's a section, and we'll call it portfolio section. I had an about one and I had contact. In the contact, you're going to put the contact form. In the about one, it'll be more text and more images and whatever you want to add. Okay, let's just drop this in. Okay, we're going to do our own section. We're going to paste the section from before. In fact, I'm now going to get rid of I'm going to have just one column in here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that box as well. And what we're now going to do is I'm just going to go in with gallery. Because I've got Elementor Pro, I can use the justified gallery or the masonry one that you want, or you can use another add-on or just use the basic gallery that you get with Elementor as well. So let's just go over here and let's now just pick all of these images. There we go. Let's just pick all of those images and we're just going to do create gallery like that. Well, come on, create gallery, insert gallery. Okay, and then we got all of his gallery images coming across. Now this might push what we're trying to achieve. So we've got to have a test it out and think about it. But we could just do 5 as well. So well, actually 5 isn't a great one. We've got too many images. Let's just go in here and let's just get rid of let's get rid of this image because we've already got it on the front, haven't we? Have we? Yes, that's correct. So let's go insert there. So now we've got this image gallery coming through. Okay, right. Let's now just publish this. Again, though, check out it in tablet. Check it out in mobile. See how it looks. Don't overlook. Don't just assume it looks great in desktop. I'm going to run away and fly. No, you got to take your time and get it right. We're going to open our page, one page. I'm just going to open it over there to that side. And while that's opening, go back to our templates. Okay. And I'm now going to get the services section, which wasn't good because I didn't even do it properly. We're going to go over here, go to our tabs, go to services, drop the code in. Cool. Let's go to our portfolio because we haven't done the about, but I'm not going to do all of that because I'm just trying to show you how it operates and how it works. Let's go to portfolio. Let's drop that in as well and let's hit update. Okay. So if we now preview our website, okay, we've got our home. We go to services. About is blank. Contact is blank. Portfolio. We got our portfolio pop up. Okay, look. It's just a portfolio page. But what we now have, okay, is a one-page site. Now, just to make you believe me, that's what it's doing. Let's just purge very quickly. Purge. Purge, purge, purge. Let's log out. So I'm now viewing our website. Actual. So I'm not logged in now anymore. Okay, and I'm just going to move myself a little bit out of the way down here. We now have our one-page website. And look, there is no scroll. I'm moving my mouse up and down. If you don't believe me, look. Let me just get it there. Look. Oops, there we go. Look. I'm scrolling up and down. Right? There is no scroll going on here. Okay? And you have your logo. You got your icons that you could click and do what you want with them. Okay? And we have our menu items at the top. We have our button, which you click. It's not going to do anything right now. Okay? It's not going to do anything. But that could open a pop-up. So that's a great way of having a pop-up open with a non-scroll website. It might be like, it could be a pop-up, right? Which says subscribe to get a free ebook, to get a discount. And when they subscribe, it then generates another pop-up. I've got a video on how to do a sequence of pop-ups. A pop-up then opens another pop-up, okay? You can do all of that here. There's no need for you to scroll or anything like that. You got your footer at the bottom down here. Look, there it is. You know, and these could again be pop-ups. So this footer, again, a video on how to make text open a pop-up. Again, that could open a pop-up for your privacy, whatever you want. You go to services. It is one page. Look, I'm still scrolling on my mouse. I go to portfolio. I mean, that is scrolling up and down. That's because I need to just modify how big the status is. So I think I need to get rid of the spacing or the padding for the gallery, okay? But once I've got that right and you've tested it, you should not have this, okay? So excuse me, because I've rushed it a little bit. But if I get rid of if I get rid of the padding above the gallery and I make sure there's no padding within that widget, we should be good to go. But this is how you can create a one page, no scroll website, which is great for a portfolio or a CV, or if you just want to get across what you do and you want to keep everyone focused on just this one page because you might have some content down here, for instance, that is always visible. Because don't forget, this is a tab, right? So you could have a column here which has some fixed content, an advert, a product, whatever you want. And then to the right of it, you could have another, you could then have your tab. And you could use the, the advanced positioning. So you could say this column over here, or this content here is 20%, and everything over here is 80%, and that contains the tab. So look, this is for me, a really simple way of doing a one-page, no-scroll website with Elementor. Hey, I hope this helps and gets your brain buzzing and creativity juices flowing. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe, and I shall see you very, very soon.